Your number one journalist here, Mr. Montgomery. Now, this episode of Wiley versus Drake versus Ed Sheeran versus the whole of the UK has taken another toll, as Ed Sheeran has actually replied to Wiley. If you guys remember, I reported a story on Wiley getting at Ed Sheeran, getting at Drake, calling them culture vultures and whatnot. And recently, Wiley actually went on the BBC One Extra show with Ada. Now, I actually didn't report a story on this, and I'm not gonna lie. After listening to that, I actually think Wiley had some form of a point from then. Now, of course, you can't just get up and just feature with Ed Sheeran if you want to. You can't just get up and feature with Drake if you want to. But if Drake goes to somebody, that person's going to decide to feature with Drake. Or if Ed Sheeran gets up and says he wants to do a song with someone, that person's going to go regardless of who it is. And in most cases, when it happens to be someone in our culture, in our scene, it's more of a problem, because if that person was to get up and say they wanted to do a song with Ed Sheeran would decide yes or no. But in most cases, if Ed Sheeran goes to that other person would just say yes. And Wiley's basically saying you can't just come into our culture and do whatever you want. Like, there's some protocol, there's some guidelines to it. Now, obviously, Ed Sheeran has gone on to say this. Now, he wrote this all out. It's kind of a long paragraph, and there's a lot of integrity with this statement. But read this. Dear Wiley, just want to clear up a few things. I never said no to doing a song for you after we made You for number 5. You wanted to release If I Could the same week as my debut single on a major label, and I merely asked if you could move to a week before or week after, which you did. The song came out and I'm still very proud of it. I've said yes to 90% of the features I've been personally asked for, unless I've been on a break or I haven't known the artist personally. The only time I can think of that I didn't let my name get featured on a song that I was on Chip's League of My Own Part 2. He asked me to sing backing vocals, which is what I did, and I didn't feel comfortable being a featured artist when I hadn't written or performed properly on the song. You Need Me, I Don't Need You, I wrote when I was 15, and definitely isn't about anything other than teenage angst. You know I have deep love and respect for the scene and for you. I look forward to Godfather 3, excited to hear it. This is the last I'll say on this. Now, I'm not going to lie to you. I've been drawn out before. A lot of artists have been drawn out before. If you're just in this media world, you get drawn out. Now, it's not really about being drawn out. It's all about the response. This is the get back season, how you get back. And I actually think Ed Sheeran has got back perfectly. It's not beef. Ed Sheeran is not beefing Wiley. I don't even think Wiley is beefing Ed Sheeran. I don't know what's going on right now, but I like this response, and I like the way that Ed Sheeran has composed himself. At the end of the day, Ed Sheeran has existed since the days of SBTV, the way he's come up. He didn't come up off of some fancy handout. He was busking. He was out here hustling, trying to make his music dream work. And I actually think we should commend that. We should appreciate that. We should take him in as our own. Of course, he's not black, and he's not going to face the exact same struggles as most of our artists are facing today. Police shutting down the shows and stuff like that. No. However, though, I actually think we should pay Ed Sheeran some respect. And Wiley, I don't actually think this is some way that you should be composing yourself, especially with someone like Ed Sheeran. Both of you are at the top of your game, and at the same time, both of you can benefit from it. And Wiley's the godfather of grime. He's the godfather of our scene. He's one of the most respected figureheads. And people are going to start losing respect for you when you start moving mad. I'm not going to lie. People will lose respect. So, personally, Wiley, I just think you should just forget all of this stuff. But who knows? Is Wiley crazy or is he not crazy? At the end of the day, when he was on Radio 1 Extra, he actually had a point. My man weren't actually gemming it. I actually think he was speaking a lot of sense. However, though, in the case of Ed Sheeran, it doesn't make any sense, because Ed Sheeran's been around for a while, and he's actually done features with people like Fuse ODG. Of course, he's got this Stormzy song here right now, and I don't see a problem with Ed Sheeran being in our culture. Let me know what you lot think. Do you think Wiley's lost it? Leave a like, comment, make sure you subscribe. In a bit.